Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined with Sherman and Slothy. Sherman, how you doing?
Okay, not bad so far. So it is the weekend, thank goodness.
Oh, weekend's not so bad, right?
Yeah. So, yep, it is what it is. How are you doing?
Good. I keep trying to walk on my leg, and it's not working well. It's I'm many things, but smart isn't one of them. So we're trying to rest up, but again, it's another week of doing nothing but making a lot of decks. I'll tell you guys about that in a second. And Slothy, how are you?
Not so bad. Kind of also pretty excited that it's the weekend. Busy week. Made a lot of decks as well. And yeah, that's about all I've got to report.
Yeah, deck building is just endless right now, like with the nonstop. This is the longest we went without spoilers for a new set, which is pretty nice. It was kind of a nice break. We started getting.
I mean, it was still only a month, so.
But that's what I mean. That's still a month break was still delightful, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, I was definitely pretty happy about it. But I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. I love Bloomborough. I really liked the flavor of it. And when we brewed Wick, I realized I had to brew Vren. So I went and I got a Vren, and then I made a Vren deck, and then I made another 2 Vren decks. The initial pile that I was doing, I compiled a big list of cards, and it was around 200 cards. And I was like, well, this is too many cards for a deck. So I kind of tried to split them up a little bit. There's some overlap in them. All 3 of my lists will be in the show notes, but this is, we live in Alberta. So for everyone who doesn't know, Alberta's the only place in the world without rats. It's like one of the few places there's no rats here. We patrol the borders for rats. It's not really a thing. So it's go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's something you will get arrested and go to jail for if they find you with rats.
If you ever look at the rat map, it's really funny because it's just red everywhere, and then it's just Alberta is carved out, and it's very funny. But with that in mind, because we're Albertans, I had to make a rat control deck. That's my name for this one. There's rat control. I also have a rat, which is destroy your friendships, because it's a destroy based deck. That's pretty fun. And then one is extra destructions, where it's a extra turn themed deck, and it's pretty toxic. I played a spell table game of it, and 3 people disconnected. So, yeah. What can you do, right? Yep. Let's get into what Vren is. Before even that, like, share, subscribe. I never say this till the end, but do it. It's nice. Get to it. All right. Yes. Okay. Back to this. Vren is a rat rogue 3/4. It is 2/1 blue 1 black for a legendary creature. It has ward 2, which is annoying. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's really annoying to try deal with a ward with Commander. Vojo was annoying because of it. It gives us a Leyline of the Void kind of effect. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. And then at the beginning of each end step, you create X 1/1 black rats. With this creature gets 1/1 for each other rat you control, where X is the number of creatures your opponents control that were exiled this turn. So we want to destroy things. We want to exile things. There's a lot of things. The EDH rec lists, if you look at them, all of them are put in Ogre Slumlord, none of that matters. No, your creatures aren't dying. It doesn't matter. They're Morbid Opportunist is the best whenever a creature dies. They're not dying. They're getting exiled. It's not happening. You're not getting those triggers.
True. So
with Vren, we want to, number one, we're going to have, don't play the deck like I played. I sat there and just kept, I had 50 rat tokens. Don't do that. Attack your friends with the rats. Let them out of the nightmare that is that. It's don't just chitter at them. The rats are very big. Relentless rat decks are a thing. They're very scary, and this Commander just gives you relentless rats for running removal. It's so removal based that even I have instants in a deck. A lot of instants in a deck. So I'll pop up our Vren here so everyone on the YouTubes can see it. But I've kind of, most of my decks are across 3 different categories. So this one only has 1 card from it, but it's clearing the maze, which is fun. I'll take our first card in the clear the maze thing. It is just Void Snare. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. There's going to be some things we can't destroy, and some things we don't have the ability to do our normal enchant and artifact destruction like green. Before I even talk about this, by the way, what did you guys think of this Commander? I didn't even ask your guys' thoughts on it.
Thoughty?
It's fun. I've built a Vren deck as well, pretty recently, and it kind of gets out of hand. Wasn't I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
That's fair. And Sherman,
Fair
how
enough.
about you? What's your initial thoughts on a Vren? How would you have gone?
I honestly was indifferent with Vren. I know a lot of people love playing Relentless Rats and Rat Colony and stuff like that. I'm the kind of person that tends to play things like Eye of Singularity or Leyline of Singularity or Maelstrom Pulse, where I punish you for playing duplicates.
Yep.
So something like this, I'm kind of meh. Like I like I would probably abuse the fact that I would exile things as they die constantly. Whether I make rats or not, I wouldn't care to be honest.
The rats are just a fun side effect.
Yeah, it's just a fun side effect. I would abuse the exile clause mostly, to be honest.
I started going really, really aggressively into a control their turn thing. I had the initial deck had like Emrakul, like Worst Fears, Mindslaver, so that I could take their turn and then destroy their commander and exile it, or just sacrifice their commander, swing into my rats, whatever it was, and leave their commander in exile. And I was like, you know what? That's too toxic, and I have to stop this.
If you can make it toxic for the cheap, then I'm for it.
Yeah. This deck before we go farther is $66, and it says that its salt sum is 27, and I don't believe that. So, like I said, we already did our first section. I'll let you guys jump into our second, which is our copy, because we have a lot of instant sorceries.
Go ahead, Thothy.
Sure. First one we've got here is Case of the Ransacked Lab. 2 and a blue for a case enchantment. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. To solve it, you cast 4 or more instants and sorcery spells this turn. And once it's solved, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you can draw a card.
It's an interesting card, I'll say. Sometimes it's hard to pull that off, so you have to have a decent amount of mana, but still your instant sorceries cost 1 less, and just having that effect is really, really useful.
Yeah, the floor of it is still the reduction's nice. The ceiling of being able to draw so much, great.
All right, so the next one we have here is going to be Invasion of Arcavios. So 3 double blue. It's a battle siege. So when the invasion enters the battlefield, search your library, graveyard, and or outside the game for an instant or sorcery card you own. Reveal it and put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, you shuffle. And then the flip side is whenever you... Oh, wait, hang on. Before I do the flip side, it has comes in with 7 of those counters. And then the flip side is Invocation of the Founders. So enchantment, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
So it's a good flip effect.
7 is quite a bit. But you know what? If you have a lot of rats, who cares?
Well, yeah, the rats are pretty big. The rats get out of control pretty. Basically one one-sided board wipe really sets you up to be 18 power.
Huh.
Yeah. We have just our destroy and exile section, so I'll jump into that. It's kind of the meat and potatoes of the deck's theme. There's different ways to get to it, but number 1, Baleful Mastery. I'm nothing, but if not, a group hug player. So Baleful Mastery is an instant. It is 3 and a black. You can pay 1 and a black rather than its cost. If 1 and a black was paid, an opponent draws a card. You don't even have to have it the person whose stuff you're destroying. You can just be like, I will blow Sherman's creature up and I will give it to Slothy. But you exile target creature or planeswalker. That's going to be great for Avacyn's, things like that. Things we can't actually just destroy.
Yeah, it's a great card. It's I don't understand why more people aren't playing it. It's so good.
Oh, it's cheap too.
And that's the thing. A lot of people before were why would you give your opponent a card? Then Bloomberg comes out with the gifted stuff, and then everyone was like, oh, gifting stuff is so awesome. It's this is what it does.
Yeah. This is basically, just gift rewarded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we've got Devour in Shadow. 2 blue for an instant. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated, and you lose life equal to that creature's toughness.
Yeah, this is a good card too. Like you lose life equal to creature stuff, and that's not a big deal. Normally it's going to be 3, 4. Sure, sometimes it's going to be like 10, but
It could hurt, right?
yeah, it can hurt. It's like sword plowshares, right? It's just the opposite.
Yeah.
All right. We got Feed the Cycle for 1 and a black. As an additional cost, cast this spell, forage or pay a black. To forage, exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. You destroy target creature or planeswalker. I love the artwork for this.
I do too. I tried to, like I said, when you've talked about budgets so much and stuff, and it's something we're going to talk about again coming up soon. The more budget you're trying to play on, the more you need cards to do, right? You need to have them have like another effect if possible.
Yeah, it's so much more challenging. It's so much better for you. So, and truth be told, you got to play with so many more cards. Like once again, there's like over 24,000 cards or close to 24,000 cards. The fact that we play with, like, according to like EDH Rec, we play with probably like, 10,000 cards at most, or like not even half. It's kind of sad.
There's tons in here that I don't play like in any other decks. I just got some silly things, and I was like looking. I was like, what destroys? And let's go from there.
Yeah.
We have Fell the Profane. This is my big baller card in this list. It's like 349, but it's so good. It's one of the flip lands. So it is a instant again, 2 double black. You destroy target creature or planeswalker. Again, that utility. It does like also get us a land. It's Fellmire. As it enters, you can pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters tapped, and it's a black. So best case scenario, we're destroying something late game with it. Worst case, if we're in a rush, we either have a tapped land, or if we really, really need it, we have an untapped one.
Then we've got Hagra Mauling. 2 double black. Costs 1 less to cast if an opponent controls no basic lands. Destroy target creature. And it flips into Hagra Brood Pit, which enters the battlefield tapped, and you can tap it for a black.
Oh, spell costs 1 less to cast if an opponent controls no basic lands. That's such an interesting thing.
There's lots of decks that don't run basics, really.
Yeah, but it's like any basic, right? So,
but it doesn't have to be the opponent you're targeting. Any opponent has no basics.
That's true. Okay. We have a Heartless Act for 1 and a black. Instant, choose 1. Either destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Hey, that's not bad.
Decent. I play with a lot of Atraxa players. There's a lot of things that are good to destroy. Like once they get, especially starting to get those utility counters, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Get those off, right? We have Mirror of Life Trapping, which might be the best card in this deck. Our commander doesn't care if things stay exiled. It just cares about things being exiled. So Mirror of Life Trapping is for whenever a creature enters, if it was cast, you exile it, then return all other permanents exiled with it on to the battlefield under their owner's control. So every time anyone's creatures enter, you're exiling their creatures. They cast a creature, it's exiled. We're getting another rat, because this rat triggers every end step.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they still get their stuff back. We're trying to be nice. This is the nicest exile card in the deck. You eventually get it back. Maybe. If somebody destroys the mirror as well, that it's very, very dangerous to cast your commander with this, because all someone has to do is just blow the mirror up, and then it's stuck in exile.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice threat. I like it.
Saucy?
Yeah, moving on here, we got Mob. 4 and a black for an instant. It's got Convoke, and you can destroy target creature.
Not bad. I like seeing Convoke. It's always nice to see that.
Well, we're making tokens, right? So I tried to use a little.
It's not so bad. And we have Nocturnal Hunger for 2 and a black. Instant, gift of food. You may promise a food to a person, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we have destroy target creature. If the gift wasn't promised, you lose 2 life. For 2 life? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Again, worst case, we throw away 2 life. Best case, we make a friend while we blow something up.
Yeah.
Right? We have another Convoke one here. It's Pylon, 3 and a black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker and a Surveil of 2.
I love this card. It's so good.
It's crazy artwork. I don't know whose deck was it in. Was it your
Mirko.
Wick? Oh, Mirko. It was in someone's deck. Well, someone played it recently, and I was like, this is cool artwork, and I need to start playing it.
Yeah, it was in the Mirko one because it has the Surveil.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
Then we've got Raven Form. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying, and it has Foretell for a blue.
I should play with more Foretell stuff. Foretell is a fun mechanic, to be honest.
Foretell is devastating that there's not more Foretell. It's such a good mechanic. I hate the set specific things like the battles, the doors from the new set are going to be that Foretell, like all those things, because it's such a bummer. There's such nice mechanics, right? Foretell's really, really cool.
Yeah.
You just got to play with the Edgin commander, then all your stuff has Foretell.
Which one?
Yeah.
Edgin Larcenous Lutenist.
Oh, yes, that one.
Yeah, my Song Tribal deck.
Yeah.
Fair.
Last one you have here for removal is Severed Strands for 1 and a black. Sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Destroy a target creature an opponent controls. It's not bad.
Our rats are pretty big. Nice set of life gain.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Our next section here we have is our draw. And it will be no surprise that most of it is going to be the cheapest draw of like the sacrifice creatures to draw. Because again, we're making tokens. Every time we destroy something, we get a token. So the first one I have is Altar's Reap. 1 in the black as an additional cost to cast it. You sack a creature, you draw 2 cards.
Ooh, instant speed as well. Damn.
Yep.
Then there is Bankrupt in Blood. 1 in a black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice 2 creatures, and you can draw 3 cards.
That artwork's nuts.
Artwork is so good. Truth be told, I've rarely played with this one just because sacrificing 2 creatures for me, and that's like I can see you doing this in the token deck, but for me, I'm like 2 creatures. Oh,
yeah, 2 creatures is a lot to throw away, but
yeah, 3 cards is tempting,
right? 3 cards at 2 mana is nearly unheard of. That's near power 9 level. We just have to have 2 creatures that we don't care about.
But I care about all my creatures. I care about all my minions.
Please come back, rats.
We got Case Disjoint for 3 in a blue. Instant. Draw 2 cards, then look at the top card of each player's library.
Pretty potent draw stuff. A lot of it is draw 2, right?
Yeah.
A little high mana on some of them, but still. We have our Corrupted Conviction, not high mana. Again, nice and cheap too, 50 cents. It's 1 black instant as an additional cost to cast it. You sack a creature, you draw 2 cards. 1 for 2 is not horrible.
Not bad.
Then we've got Distant Melody, 3 in a blue for sorcery. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type.
Rat City.
Do you have the other one here? The what is it? Pacts of
the Serpent one?
Yeah, Pact of a Serpent.
I only have one, and it's in a different one of these decks, I'm pretty sure. It was in the original pile, so it may have been cut, but it was there at some point.
Fair enough. Next one we have here is Distorted Curiosity for 2 in a blue. Sorcery. It has Corrupted, so this spell costs 2 less to cast if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, and you draw 2 cards.
Not terrible.
Not side benefit for anyone that is playing poison counters. Just politics so that they get more poison counters and you can cast it for cheap.
Yeah. We have a Dockside Chef. I think it's just one of the better draw enablers if you have creatures to throw away that I've seen in a long time. It's 1 for a 1/2 human citizen. 1 in a black, sack an artifact or creature, and you draw a card. Again, it's just nice, easy, throw it away things.
We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Then there is Eviscerator's Insight. 1 in a black for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, and it has flashback for 4 in a black.
Nice.
Little more
Flashback.
utility, yeah.
Yeah. We got the Idol of Oblivion for 2 mana artifact. Tap it, draw a card. Activate only if you created a token this turn. And for 8 mana, you can tap it to sacrifice the idol and you create a 10/10 creature, colorless Eldrazi creature token.
It's okay.
It's a good card draw if you're in a token strategy for sure.
Yeah, I just like that tap token draw, right? Especially nice on the cheap little draw enabler.
Yeah.
And then we have Meeting of Minds because, again, it's got Convoke, and that's great. 3 and a blue, Convoke, and then draw 2 cards.
Once again, for instant speed for something like this is pretty good with Convoke because you can pretty much pay just 1 blue. That's so dope.
Yeah, I like it. Our next section is instants. I do know what those are every now and then.
You only have 4 in here? What? What are you talking about?
This is supposed to be the clear the maze section. I just didn't do it. But this clears things out of our rat maze when we're getting to the cheese. The cheese is killing our friends. Slothy, take us away.
Yeah, the first one we've got is Blink of an Eye. It is 1 and a blue, has kicker for 1 and a blue, and return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell was kicked, draw a card.
Always fun, always good. Ooh, you got the classic here. You have Boomerang for double blue. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. I love this card. It's so classic.
All of our clear the maze technicality things are going to be they're going to be non-land permanents because we got destroying creatures on lock, but sometimes there's just things that are annoying, like smothering tithes or blah blah blah. You guys get it?
If I remember correctly, one of the old rumors, like I love this card back in the day, and I remember one of the quotes that they had for it or flavor text is like, what's it called? Be careful when you lie, as lies always come back.
I like that.
I'm like, oh, that's so sick.
I like all the artworks of Boomerang too. It's a cool card.
Yeah.
Speaking of artworks that I like, this next one's such a silly looking card. Compelling Deterrence. It is 1 and a blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then that player discards a card if you control a zombie. We don't care so much about the zombie part, but that artwork is just so silly. The scariest scarecrow of all time. And then our last one here, Slothy.
Our last one here is Disperse, 1 and a blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Always nice, always good.
We have some lands here. None of them really matter except for Forbidden Orchard. It is, I think, actually the most expensive card in the whole list. And you can't not include it in a deck like this because it taps for 1 mana of any color, but it also makes creatures because we need to destroy creatures to make rats. If they don't have creatures, then we can't make rats. So we have to have something that can keep making creatures if possible.
Makes sense.
That's why it's in there. It's, again, $9. It's like the most expensive one. The rest of our land base is pretty basic, like just your basic like cheap multicolor ones, like your Creeping Tar Pit, Choked Estuary. Nothing immaculately crazy in it. All right.
What's the next section you have?
The Mass Wipes.
Mass Wipes. Okay. Let's start it off here with Blight Grenade for 4 and a black. Sorcery. Destroy all creatures. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn.
No, just target creature. Destroy target.
Oh, sorry. Destroy target creature. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn.
Vren is a 3/4. So Vren can live through these wipes, which is nice. But a 3/3 board wipe does wipe the board of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty mean.
That's a fun card.
Yeah. We have another one that is a similar style. Crippling Fear, 2 double black. You choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3/-3 till end of turn. So all non-rat creatures in this deck.
Yeah. Then there is Mandate of Abaddon, 3 in black for sorcery. Choose target creature you control. Destroy all creatures with power less than that creature's power. Makes sense if you're kind of rat colonying tokens out.
Yeah, if your rats are all so huge. The nice thing, there's another great card that kind of is in the same vein, which is Engulf the Shore. I'm pretty sure I took it out of the list, but it returns all creatures with toughness less than, and your rats are big, so they don't get affected by that. It's pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of ramp because I assume we're going to have to cast our commander a lot of times. People, they're not going to let you just just play these rat games alone. So I'll start us off with our ramp here. We have an Arcane Signet. It's the bat version because I love it. It's 2 mana. You tap to add 1 mana of your commander's color identity.
And then, you know what? Let's reverse order. I'll take it because Sloppy got the last board wipe here. So we're going to get the Charcoal Diamond for 2 mana here. Comes into play tapped, and you tap it for a black mana.
I use these diamonds so much now.
Yeah, I've kind of been warming up to them as well.
Yeah, for 2 mana, like you wait. It's not a big deal, but like turn 2, if you get it, like what else are you gonna do?
It feels nice to hit like a turn 1 Soul Ring Signet or turn 1 like Soul Ring Charcoal Diamond, like any of those like I like them because generally when I Soul Ring Signet, I'm not getting another thing off it. It's, you know, like what kind of high tuned am I getting? Like, all right, we play Forest, we play Soul Ring, we play Signet, we play Llanowar Elf, pass.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not very often that's going to be happening. So it's just nice to, if you can have multiple things that are like a 2 mana rock and hit it with that Soul Ring and stuff on that first turn, like going into your third turn with like 5 potential mana is crazy. Or your second turn.
It always feels good, but at the same time,
that's when you fight the
target.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got the Dimir Cluestone, 3 mana. You can tap it for blue or black, or you can pay blue and black and tap it to sacrifice it and draw a card.
Little utility with our draw, not horrible. We've got the Locket as well. 3 mana, you tap for a black or a blue, and then it has the 4 hybrid, so black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, whatever. You sack it, draw 2 cards. Again, in either late game, if we really need to dig for cards, it's kind of nice to be able to throw those away. Early game, it's a rock.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Felwar Stone for 2 mana. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce.
Yeah, just 2 mana rock.
Yep.
Then there is Midnight Clock, 2 and a blue. You can tap it for blue. Pay 2 and a blue to put an hour counter on it. At the beginning of each upkeep, you put an hour counter on Midnight Clock, and when the 12th counter is put on it, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards and exile it.
Yeah.
Has anyone
realized? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
I was just gonna say, I think that's the first time I've ever actually had to read that card out loud, and geez, it says Midnight Clock a lot on it.
Yeah. I wonder, has anyone ever made it to put in on the 12th counter? Because I have never gotten there, even with playing like with Proliferate and whatnot.
I always do. It's because it's every upkeep. It's not each of your upkeeps.
That's true. Yeah, but still, that's like 3 turns though, and by then, like normally when I cast it, it's like getting close to like late game, mid game to late game, and then everyone kind of dies.
It's a lovely early rock, right? It's helping you out early, and then it's going to refresh your hand, which is so good.
That's true. That's fair.
We have a Mind Stone again, just more cheap early ramp because I want my rat out as fast as I can, and then I want to start destroying things before things get out of hand. You're not going to make friends in this deck. You can't group hug your way around this one when you're destroying everything and board wiping everything and stuff like that. Like, and there's another section coming that's mean. So you need to be fast in this deck. You can't have like a low mana hand or something like that. You don't want to cast like Vren on like turn 5 or 6 because you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. You want to be as fast as you can Vren out, and then you want to start destroying single target creatures so that you can start getting these rats. Because people are going to kill Vren, and then at least you can threaten them with your like 7/7 rats.
Yeah, it's true.
Because Vren's going to die. That Ward 2 won't save him. That Ward 2 will save him a little bit at the beginning, but they're coming for him. They're coming for Vren.
Right. We got the Prismatic Lens for 2 mana. Tap it to add a colorless, or you tap 1 and you tap it to add 1 mana of any color.
I don't even think I read Mind Stone. Mind Stone's basically the same thing. You tap 1, it's 2 mana, tap it for a colorless, pay 1, sack it, draw a card. I forgot it. I just went on a tangent.
Yeah, that's all good.
I'm on painkillers. I
forgot you didn't read it. I just kept on going.
Yeah. I'm on painkillers. Just ignore me.
Then we've got Sky Diamond, 2 mana, enters tap for blue.
It's the next one. I'm happy you'll get the next one, Slothie. We have a Soul Ring. So it's 1, you tap for 2. Simple. It goes in every deck.
Yeah. And then we have the Spell Satchel for 2 mana. Has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, put a book counter on the spell satchel. You tap it, remove a book counter from the spell satchel, add a colorless. For 3 mana, you can tap it, remove 3 book counters from it, and you draw a card.
I like it. A little slower ramp than I would like on some of it, but again, I like that ability to have that draw later.
Yeah.
Then the final ramp we've got here is Strixhaven Stadium. 3 mana, you can tap to add a colorless and put a point counter on it. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then if it has 10 or more, remove them all, and that player loses the game.
That's a good card.
Let's go.
It
is.
There's a lot of things that are going to get around. We need some alternate win cons, like for instance, in the extra turns version, one of the win cons is Phoenix, the God of Deception thing, where you can tap your creatures and mill for their toughness because those rats get so big, right? Having alternate win cons is like such an important thing because there's so many players that just have life you can't get around. They've got so much life for everything you do. They've got so much, like they're like stacked out with okay, well, you can't attack me because I have the Pillow Fort Mountain. You're never going to get through that way, right? And we don't have destroy all enchantment kind of effects here, so we need some alternate wins. So I love Strixhaven Stadium for that. Like Slothy's turned me onto that card, and I can't go back.
Good, that's what I like to hear. It does make a lot of sense in here for getting around Pillow Fort things.
Yeah, just that extra win con is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
My next section I've named Rat Protection because it's all things that are trying to protect my commander, and that's the only point of it. We start off with Abnormal Endurance. He's Vren the Relentless. He has Abnormal Endurance. It makes sense. It's 1 and a black for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Because that's going to be the best way to protect Vren, because people are going to keep swinging at him. We can run 80 counter spells if we need to, you know what I mean? Like it's, but no, let them think that they're going to get Vren, bring Vren right back.
Yeah. These card effects, these ones like are so strong. Like, oh yeah. Let's see what other ones you have for those. Let's see. We have Bane's Contingency for 1 double blue. Instant. Counter target spell. If that spell targets a commander you control, instead counter that spell, scry 2, then draw a card.
It's not a bad counter spell, hey?
That's like a pretty good counter spell. Plus, they already had to pay for the ward, so they'd be even more pissed.
Yeah. You try blow Vren off the board because he's the only target. What are you going to do? Destroy one of my rats? It's never going to happen. This isn't a rat deck. There's no crazy like ash coats in here. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Next one we've got, I really like the art on this one. We've got Fake Your Own Death, 1 and a black for an instant. Till end turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and you create a treasure token.
You know how annoying it is to have to pay to get past the ward, think you're finally going to kill my commander that's being obnoxious. Not only does it come back, but it comes back and gives me treasure.
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Oh, Fake Your Own Death should be way saltier. It's like I said, I love that they're all pretty similarly costed. Like you can pretty easily up the budget of this deck, obviously, but like a really good one with the path I went would be like just an Isochron Scepter. And there's so many good like 2 mana spells in here, like 2 mana destroys. I was gonna put Fel into this deck, and I bought a few Fels when it first came out, and then I was like, oh, cool. I was putting it in here, and I was like, yeah, Fel, of course. It's like a $13 card right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, that one's getting up there real fast.
Let me tell you, that was not budget. Whew. We also have Presumed Dead, another of the similar effects. 1 and a black. Until in turn, target creature gets 2/0 and gains. When it dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, and a suspected creature has menace and can't block. We're not blocking with Vren. We don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. Last one we have here is going to be Supernatural Stamina for a single black. Instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control.
Just another abnormal ender.
Yeah.
But cheaper.
There is you could definitely probably do better ways to protect your commander. I think that this is a more fun way. At least I feel like it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so many people they always got their counter spells. They they're expecting a counter target spell. You hit me with a can't be countered. I'm like, that's okay, right? I just I don't know. I like my little rat protection section. I think Sherman will enjoy this one. It is it's my rat control section. I'll let Sherman start us off with it.
Okay, we have Beguiler of Wills for 3 double blue. Creature, human, wizard. Is a 1/1. Tap it. Gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of creatures you control. You're so screwed.
Rat control. That doesn't end. You don't get those back.
Oh, this is, in all honesty, this is a great card. And you know what? For $3, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Because like I know like people are like, oh, like Emperor Scalina is so strong because it just takes whatever, for legendary. Like, yeah, okay, I get it, but like Emperor Scalina is also like what, maybe like a $15-$20 card.
It's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, compared to Beguiler of Wills, which is like, okay, we just need a lot of creatures. All right, cool. That's not so bad.
You can up this deck a little bit with like your Malika Rebirths and like the other like kind of flip lands. I can't remember the blue one. It's something subtlety, or it's not subtlety, but it's something like that. It's another good one, but they're like expensive, they're like $9 right now. That's crazy that those like common flip lands are like $9.
So stupid.
It's because Commander players are animals. We can't stop buying them.
We can't stop building more and more and more decks. Like most people have like I bet you most people already have anywhere like 15 to like 30 decks.
A lot of people just keep building more and more. There's so much stuff that comes out, right?
Yeah.
Like
I just keep on deconstructing and reconstructing.
I wish I had the willpower. I wish I had it in me. I wish I could look myself in the mirror and say that I was going to be that man, but I can't. Every time I'm like, I'm going to take these decks apart. I wish I was the person that my wallet hoped I could be, but I'm not. Every time I'm like, well, we could go see if they have any soul rings at our game store.
I'll just give you some more soul rings and arcane signets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm running
Become
solo.
the person your wallet wishes you to be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Slothy, you take our next one.
Yes. Next up, we've got Jawari Disruption. 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. And it flips into Jawari Ruins, which enters battlefield tapped and taps for blue.
Yep. Decent. I hate getting I tap out all the time. And
so true.
And yeah, losing to a Sherman hits me with a negate or a mana leak, and it just breaks my heart. Just breaks my heart every time. He's like,
do that to him.
Yeah, I'm mana leak, and I'm just It's I'm learning. There's more instance. I'm getting my year's worth of instants and sorceries into this deck. So be proud of me.
I've kind of noticed that actually. I'm quite impressed with how many instants you've got in here.
There's some interaction in this. What? Who built this?
Yeah, this was not what I was expecting to wake up to this morning.
This is only the first deck. He has 2 other decks.
A deck with 6 creatures in it?
Is that all?
Talking about
is that all that is there?
Yeah.
It's usually all creatures.
You only have like, I've only seen like 3 so far.
Not very many creatures in this one.
33 instants.
Let's go. We're getting there. We're learning. We have Long River's Pull because again, I just love these Bloomburrow cards. Double blue. You gift a card, counter target spell. If the gift was promised instead, so it's a counter creature spell, or you gift them a card, and then if it's promised instead, it's just a 2-mana counter spell that buys me goodwill. It's counter spell at home.
I know we mention this quite frequently when we talk about these gifting cards, but I still think it is so funny to be like, hey, Sherman, want to see something funny? Draw a card real quick. I'm just going to counter your spell there, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. You make new friends at the table.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing.
Make new friends, make new enemies. Everybody's having a good time.
The gift mechanic, if it was whose spell you were targeting, that would be like, okay, cool. Like, at least there's a downside. But in Commander, there's no downside to playing gift stuff. It's just like, yeah, let's gang up on this person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to play more counter spells against you guys. I don't care. I'll play them all. Play every single one of them. I'll play things that you guys have never seen before. Play things like Rust.
True.
Yeah, I wonder how many people know what Rust does in the listeners. It's a green counter spell for activated abilities of artifacts.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
It's a node card. I think it's like from like Legends or something like that. I can't remember.
It was Legends, yeah.
Haha, see.
Old
I'm
stuff.
old, baby. All right, let's continue on here to another counter spell. That is going to be a negate for 1 and a blue. Instant counter target non-creature spell.
Yeah.
Nice, easy, simple.
Then we've got Opposition. 2 double blue for an enchantment. Tap an untapped creature you control. Tap target artifact, creature, or land.
It's just really annoying. It's just a really annoying card.
It's such a
This
good
art
card.
this art is just Dan trying to convince his wallet to buy more cards.
I'm not saying that the right way to do this is to wait until your friends untap and then in their upkeep pick a color of mana they have and tap all of that color. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying it makes the game much more fun, and it will. If you think you're going to make your friends mad by destroying things, wait until you just start using your 30 rat tokens, because I don't swing with the rats. I'm not smart, but I do tap people's lands down. That is why people scooped to the game and all disconnected, is because I kept choosing a color of mana and then tapping all of their colors down.
See, and this is why I
That
keep
make
on
way.
telling people more interaction, because even if you have to tap all your mana in the upkeep, you still have instants in your hand that you can cast to try to get rid of whatever's doing that to you.
Man, Opposition's annoying. It's a really, really annoying card. I love
It is annoying card.
love
It
it
is
so
a great
much.
card, but so annoying. We have Piper of the Swarm for 1 and a black. It's a 1/3 human warlock creature. Rats you control have menace. That's a problem. For 1 and a black, you tap it, create a 1/1 black rat creature token. For 2 double black, you tap it, sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature.
Rat
This
control.
is such a problem.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Roll.
Yeah, this is a great card. And that's oh wait, hang on. So if you sacrifice your creature, oh no, your commander wouldn't go off because you would control it at that time when you sacrifice it if you took control.
Yeah, if you sack their creature. The one of the versions of this deck has like a Grave Pact and a Dictate of Erebos in it. That's brutal. That one's not fun. No, I haven't played that one yet, but I can't. That's my extra turns one. I can't see anyone enjoying my full sacrifice theme extra turns deck. There's just no way. It's just going to be Toxrill 2.0. I had a Toxrill on the list. I had to take it out. You got to believe me that I have a soul in here somewhere,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
And then we get to probably the most annoying section in the list, which is sacrifice effects. I'm learning from Sherman, and the boy's been sacrificing is all I could say. So, first off, the fact that this is an 8-card section at $3, you'll love to see it. It's pretty nice. I'll let Slothy take us away with our beginning of our sacrifice.
Super. First one we've got is Barter in Blood. 2 double black for a sorcery. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures.
That's
Oh,
6
good.
rats.
So good.
If we look at our Vren, let me get back up to Vren here. These rats are 1/1 rats that get 1/1 for each, which means that we make 6/7/7 rats and Vren, so we make 6/8/8 rats with that 4-mana card. The sacrifice section is the worst section in the deck. People aren't going to like it. It's pretty mean.
You gotta do it. Indestructibility's out of hand.
Yep. That's a lot of rats is all I'm saying. We have a Consumed by Greed because I can't not put such a silly artwork in this deck. It is 1 double black. It has gift card, and I love to gift. Target opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. If the gift was promised, you return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. That's not as much going to matter to us, but having people sack their biggest creature and also giving us a rat is very funny.
That's an instant?
Yeah,
Damn.
that's a good instant.
You have a gift of promise, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad at all. So like, oh man, why is this only 35 cents?
That's definitely very, very playable in a lot of decks like that need some recursion. They sack their big creature, their big baddie, and then somebody gets an Ulamog out and I consume them by greed.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's crazy. Cause oh man, cause a lot of time like the big creature is the thing that like they make indestructible or put a lot of stuff onto, or like shroud or or hexproof and everything. You drop this, and then like let's say you're in Gagari, so you return something stupid like an Eternal Witness, and you return this back to your hand, like and do it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the I just really, really like this card. I think it's got a lot of utility. Our deck doesn't really have a ton of creatures, but even getting the Beguiler back, getting the rat, like the Piper the Swarm back, those are great creatures to recur if we need to.
Worst comes to worst, if your commander's getting too high for casting costs and anything, you just, let it go to the bin, consumed by greed something, and then just return that back to your hands and you cast it for original cost.
Yeah.
So I like that card. I need to get some. All right. Getting distracted. We got Extract a Confession for 1 and a black. Sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may collect evidence 6. Boo. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If evidence was collected, instead, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. That's not so bad.
It's not terrible.
It is not going to be hard to collect evidence if you need to in this deck.
Because all instants, everything is going to the grave.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna try to build a deck based around collecting evidence, just because I don't like the mechanic, and the best way to learn a mechanic and to abuse it is to build a deck around it.
There's been tons of cards I've seen that I don't like or respect or care about. And then I see someone build an interesting deck, and I'm like, all right, you've tickled my fancy. That was the party mechanic. I hated the party mechanic until I started playing the, what's it called? The Barakos deck. And that's like one of my favorite decks. I love that deck. That deck's so fun to play. That was one of the hardest decks I've ever had to edit. There was so little that could come out of it. It was just so fun. So many good clerics, especially now. I could probably go back and put some interesting stuff in with like the new bats and stuff. But no, that was a great deck. I love the party mechanic with that thing. It's so silly. But speaking of party mechanics, we have a split card. We have Far and Away. Oh, Slothy, that's your card. Sorry, I'm bad.
Yes.
I'm bad at turners.
Speaking of parties, we've got a flip card here. Far and Away. The far side is 1 and a blue for an instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. The away side is 2 and a black. Target player sacrifices a creature, and you can fuse them.
Oh,
I think I love Dragon's Maze. That's all.
That's fair. I really like these. Like when you look at like Extract a Confession. Number one, that's very annoying that everyone has to sack, even on its worst, that everyone just sacks a creature. But that sack is making us 3 rats. 3 rats at 2 mana is crazy, which is again in our deck like a 5/5. 3 5/5s, 15 power at 2 mana. It's out of control.
Yeah, true.
Right? The same with the next one, Innocent Blood. It's 1 mana, each player sacks a creature. Again, for us, that's going to make 3/1/1 rats that are all going to buff each other. And then, so like this is with our commander, a 1 mana, make 12 power.
Yeah.
It's all right. Okay.
Solid.
Math checks out. We have Liliana's Triumph for 1 and a black. Instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a Liliana Planeswalker, which we don't, each opponent also discards a card.
Yeah, we don't care about the discard. I do love the God Eternals in the background, the Oketra and the Bantu there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I love Amonkhet so much.
This was for, like, the Ward of Spark, like, storyline was just so good.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's from Amonkhet onwards is like my favorite period of the Magic story. And then it kind of got pretty bad. It was just like, hey, like, here's like a multi-year setup to like this master plan, wildly great, huge invasion, like characters died, real consequences. We saw like an actual bad guy. And then they're like, what if we had Rakdos in a cowboy hat? Yeah.
It honestly reminds me of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you have all the movies you build up to the Infinity Wars, and then after that, no one cares.
Preach it.
Yeah. Well,
Preach it.
They just lose all sense of direction.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of my biggest problems with the Marvel movies and the Magic story, was that it built up to such a great point, and then had no clue where to go from there. So that's where you get things like Wizards, or not Wizards, Rakdos in cowboy hats, or
I've got to do the aside. I have another podcast. We talk about the lore. I complain a lot about the lore. We're going through the old stories, and the old stories were even worse than like the newest stuff. But like the biggest problem with it is that they've just kind of recycled the same bad guys for like the last decade in Magic. It's been like Nicol Bolas, it's been the Eldrazi. there's sometimes a sliver invasion, and then it's been the Phyrexians. And I'm sure there'll be something more where they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. There was still some Phyrexian oil, and this is the new Phyrexians. They're going to be that. And then they're going to probably, like, my guess, again, I say it all the time, I'm thinking that they're going to have to try and fight the Eldrazi because Emrakul is encased in the moon. And I think that they're going to have to let Nicobolas out to try and fight the Eldrazi because it's the only way, because Nicobolas is probably one of the only sparks to Planeswalker still. And they're going to have to make a deal and let him out, and it's going to suck, and then he's going to be the bad guy. That's the only way. Because Magic's unoriginal with its story at the moment. That's all. That's it. Back to things that Magic is sacrificing. The integrity of the story. Get it better. Make a better bad guy. You could have done so many cool things with the Omen Path arc, and you've given me just a set where they're playing Clue. Oh, it's a murder mystery at the dinner.
I have to say, like with what they did with the invasion, they could have prolonged it and linked it with the Clue set where you don't know who's a double agent.
Mm-hmm. That could have been fun.
You know, like stuff like that would have made sense, but like they really rushed it.
Yeah, they could have not wrapped up a major war arc in one set.
And like on top of that, like they introduced us to Kellen, where after like what 3 storylines, he's literally doing nothing now.
I couldn't care less about Kellen as a character.
Like,
yeah,
I might care about him, but like you introduce us to like Eldraine, and then he goes traveling to Murders of Markov, and then he goes to Thunder Junction, and then he settles down. Why are you making this main character where we just like you don't do anything with him after that?
It's just the ideal adventurer's life. You go out for a couple adventures, then you just retire quietly, and that's it.
He's still young. Like,
oh yeah,
Oko got away, and he's just like, okay, whatever. I'm tired. Screw this.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of plot holes in the story right now.
Yeah. Anyways,
why aren't most of the Planeswalkers dead? The Phyrexian one. Oh, Malira Cleanser Spark. Get over it. It doesn't make sense. It's nonsense. Oh, Teferi slowed time. No, doesn't make sense. Venser died for nothing. I'm passionate.
Bring back Nikki B.
Jumping back
Sloppy,
in
please.
here. We've got Mire in Misery. 1 and a black for a sorcery. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or enchantment.
Yeah, we have enchantment removal.
I was going to say, I like this because this is going to be our enchantment removal in this deck. No, they're not giving us more rats if they can avoid it. They're going to throw an enchantment away. The coat of arms themed rats are going to get pretty tiresome pretty quick. Yeah, I like that one. And then we also have a Vraska's Fall, another instant speed sacrifice thing. 2 and a black. Each opponent sacks a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counter.
Nice.
Yeah.
We need more poison counters.
Oh, we've got 2 more sections. Wow, we got so many cards in this. There's instance. It's not all just, all right, creature go bonk, followed by creature go bonk.
Okay,
I don't know what to do with myself anymore with this, Dan. All this interaction. Sorry, go ahead.
Which one do you want to do? We have the 2 categories.
We'll hit tutors. We'll hit tutors, then we'll hit our last category.
All right. So we have illicit shipment for 3 double black. Sorcery has casualty 3. Search your library for a card. Put it into your hand, then shuffle. It's not bad. I like the fact that it has casualty 3, so you can like tutor twice.
Yeah, throw a rat away.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to fetch Forbidden Orchard every time because I want that land so I can keep giving people creatures and hopefully have them not hate me as I destroy them.
Side note, once again, to every single person that's listening, you want to have land destruction cards in your deck for these reasons.
That is a good land to destroy. It's the only land I care about in the deck. I scoop.
Field of Ruin, 35 cents. Nobody cares, okay?
I scoop. Sloth, you take our next one here.
Yeah, we've got Waterlogged Teachings. 3 and a hybrid Dimir for an instant. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. And the opposite side of that is Inundated Archive, which is a land that enters tapped and can tap for blue or black.
Yeah. I like it. We've got a lot of instants that are good in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of instants that are good. My last section is my win section because, Having some extra budget ways to win is kind of nice. So number one, I chose Ensnare. I like Ensnare a lot. The fact that you can get it for free to save yourself if you need it gives you that extra utility. But it's 3 and a blue. You can return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand instead of paying the cost. And you tap all creatures. So again, if somebody's trying to, you've made your friends angry and they've got like quite a board state now and they want to swing at you, you can Ensnare even with no mana left to save yourself. Or you can use it offensively to be able to go into combat or like start your turn, tap all creatures basically for free, and then go hard, kill everyone with your mega rats.
Yeah. It's a great card. I love it. Like anyone that plays Merfolk or Merfolk Tribal should have this card. It's so good.
Just on the theme alone, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, really quick, in a worst case scenario, 4 mana is not bad for a win con of like, let's get all our creatures through.
Oh yeah. No. It's so good. So 4 mana is nothing. So, and like once again, like you said, worst comes to worst, you return 2 islands you control to your hand. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's if you're trying to end the game, you're returning the land. It's not a big deal. Next card we have here is going to be Caramonix, the Rat King, for 1 double black. Legendary creature, Phyrexian Rat. It's a 3/3. It has Toxic 1. Other rats you control have Toxic 1. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Yeah, that one's not going to matter to us, but we just want...
No, you just care about the toxic, don't you?
Yeah, again, sometimes we got to get around life game players.
Yeah, exactly.
With our infected rats. Rat infect.
Slave?
Then we've got Perplexing Test. 3 double blue for an instant. You can choose one, return all creature tokens to their owner's hand, or return all non-token creatures to their owner's hand.
That's a problem with
You're
our
choosing
giant
tokens,
rats.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah,
This
bounce
is-
all tokens, yeah.
This is such a great card. It's like the floor and ceiling of this card are so far apart, it's unbelievable. But it's such a useful card.
I also like that utility, right? If we need to hose another token player who's getting out of control, it's nice to have that ability too.
Yeah.
That instant is definitely not so bad. And then our final win con in the deck is going to be Skemfar's Shadow Mage or Shadow Sage. There's nothing like having 30 rats and killing somebody by playing 3 and a black for a 2/5 elf cleric. When it enters, you choose one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have creature type in common. That's going to be a big drain. Like even if you've got 5, that's a 15 drain, which is great. Or you gain X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. So it can save us later on. It's got a different thing, but it's kind of nice to be able to, I like to dirtle with things. I like to see how many rats I can make. Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's basically that. The some of the other stuff like I have like some more power, like expensive ones, like the really expensive deck that I made is my extra turns one. That one's like $400,
Yeah.
and there's like some really cool cards in that one. Like Attrition's a great card to add into this list where it's an enchantment. Yeah, sack a creature, destroy target non-black. That's going to be wonderful in it, but again, it doesn't really. I wanted to make like a little bit of a budget one. Obviously,
It's more fun.
Obviously, like your Pongifies, your rapid hybridizations, those are going to be even better in a deck like this. Because not only are you getting your normal destroy off, but you're making another creature you can later on then also destroy.
Yeah, your extra destruction one that you have here, the $400 one. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like you have Roaming Throne, Sakashima, Spark Double, things like that. You're doubling up on things. Like
The extra commander
crazy.
section.
Yeah,
like that one has like an extra turns, like cards, for instance, like Savor the Moment, right? Savor the Moment is generally speaking, it's like a card that's gonna hurt you a little bit, right? The skipping and untap is like okay, but it is what it is. But when you've made like 30 rats because you've board wiped someone and stuff, and then you Savor the Moment, those rats aren't tapped. So skipping the untap doesn't matter. You just okay, I kill you with rats.
yeah,
Right? Like there's this one's got and it also has a 3-tree city. Obviously, if you can afford a 3-tree city and a deck making a bunch of tokens, it's a great inclusion. But it's like $25.
yeah. And you still have some cards that aren't showing the proper prices either.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, so it was technically more than whatever 400. So it's like, oh man. But yeah,
Sink into Stupor. That's the one I was looking at. Return target spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand. It's like a 3-mana flip land. It's a great card to put in if you have $7 ones. Oh, and then that's the other thing I was going to say is upgrades for this deck. The two best that you are going to find for like pretty reasonable to not change it is the season cards. Season of Weaving and Season of Loss. Season of Loss is so good. The 3 double black, you choose up to 5 paws worth of modes. You can choose it. The 1 paw is each player sacks a creature. So even if you were to do that with 5, you're going to make 15 rats off 5 mana. That's nuts. The game's over. Your friends are picking up, right? You also have the 2 paw mode is draw a card for each creature you control that died this turn. So not horrible. And then 3 is each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature cards. You're not going to run that. And then Season of Weaving is one of the ones that I use so much on Arena. It's like my favorite card on Arena right now. It's 4 double blue, choose 5 paw modes again. So at 6 mana, you can be a draw 5 cards. Its number 2 is choose an artifact or creature token you control, a creature you control, create a token that's a copy of it. So it can be like 2 more rats and a draw at 6 mana is awesome. Or return each non-land, non-token permanent. And that so it clears the whole board of everything but our rats and kills them. It's great. That's it. I could go on for days. I'll probably brew another Vren deck while I'm sitting here editing the list, right? Like it's just Vren was definitely a really, really cool commander, and I'm happy that I was able to build one and get so many of them. I want the anime one so bad. Why are the anime versions of these cards so expensive? You seen what the anime version of any of these cards are? Like the price?
Yeah. They're so crazy.
Yeah.
What's that about? Like it is
It's popular. What are you gonna do about it? We're nerds.
It's $99 for the anime Vren.
We're nerds.
Yeah.
You know how much I paid for my Japanese version of Liliana Dreadhorde General?
Oh, that card's rough. I would not want to. I'm happy with my 99-cent foil commander. I'll pass that for that.
It was the artwork from Yoshitaka Amano. Like,
that is a really, really cool artwork. The Japanese one.
I have a playmat of it too.
I want the speaking of just like cool arts on the way out, I want the Junji Ito secret lair. That secret lair I miss like entirely. Oh, all the Junji Ito stuff is crazy. It's like one of my like favorite artists of like just silly stuff. I don't know if you guys like Junji Ito, but Junji Ito just did a did you see the recent thing that Junji Ito did?
No.
Yes.
Junji Ito did a Hello Kitty collaboration.
Oh no.
And it's just like it's
incredible.
It's just so silly how interesting it is. But yeah, I found that like so funny that Junji Ito did the Hello Kitty. Yeah.
I mean, the art styles are and direction are pretty similar, I would say.
Yeah, right.
You know, the themes are kind of there.
I'll pop it up on the screen so people on YouTube can see like the just some of the art. Yeah, like it looks so cool, but it's like it's such a silly thing to have included. Like I love it. I love it so much. I won't talk about that for that, but that's again my Junji Ito Elish Nord is like my favorite card right now, so I get it. But with that, I wrap before I start rat talking so much more. Thank you guys for getting through our list. All 3 of them will be in the show notes, so check them out. Tell us what you think. Am I missing stuff? Do I build these rat decks wrong? Is it crazy that there's instants and sorceries in the deck? Let me know, because I do like to hear from people. Like, share, subscribe. As I said earlier, it does really help people notice our stuff. If there's anything in these lists that are a little expensive, go over to abyssproxyshop.com. Promo code IT99. It's going to get you a discount. It's going to support them. It's going to support us. Great quality proxies. And I know some of the rat cards are pretty expensive. Some of the X return stuff's a little expensive. Damnation's still crazy. So that's like a great place to go over. Sleeve these up in AI Armor sleeves. We have a link in our bio, and AI Armor just deserves the world because they are great people and great sleeves. Like I said, they're my favorite sleeves, and I would, even if we didn't have an affiliate code with them, I would do it, but we do. So go support them, support us. It's very, very nice. That link's in our bio. Come over to Patreon if you ever want to brew decks with us. We love to do that. We're going to be doing some arena streams. Some I've been playing some spell table, but I'll play nicer spell table if you join. I won't play rat sacrifice decks. And yeah, that's basically it. All our content's on intoThe99.com. You guys get it. Have a great week. That's it. We just give them a second with the music, and then we let it roll.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. They get enough music.
Peace out.
See you later.